Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Vayeishev. The question of the week is, how can we receive the greatest blessings? So in this week's Torah portion, Parsha Vayeishev, we're going to start off with the Zohar says that Kucha Brichu Yoivle, that God gave to Yaakov Avinu, Shva Esrei Shnin Achrinin. God gave Yaakov an extra 17 years when he existed in the land of Egypt. And it says, Bechido b'yikra b'shlima the kula, which means with simcha, with joy, with happiness, with respect, and completion and everything. That's what the Zohar says. Comes along the Rebbe's father and he explains like this. Yaakov, we know, is the midos, the emotions, the 6 midos. What did he receive in the land of Egypt? Simcha, which is connected to the sphere of Bina. He received respect, which is connected to the sphere of Chachma. And he received the completion of everything, which is Kesser. That's what the Rebbe's father explains that Yaakov received. So the Rebbe asks, what's the reason why coming into Egypt specifically caused Yaakov to receive Bina, Chachma, and Kesser? The Rebbe explains as follows. He says it's known, the teaching from the Rebbe Rashab, in reference to the tremendous upgrade that was added to the Alter Rebbe's life, unfortunately, after he was imprisoned and went out on Yutas Kislev. And he says, even though it's hard to say this, but he says, but the truth is as follows. And he gives an example. If you take an olive and you squeeze the olive, that's how you take the oil out. So the same thing also, through the terrible things that the Alter Rebbe went through, for being imprisoned for spreading Yiddishkeit and Chassidus. So what happens afterwards came out tremendous blessings and the tremendous deeper teachings of mysticism and so on and so forth. So Rebbe said the same thing also in reference to Yaakov, specifically by going into the land of Egypt, which as we know is not the land of Israel. In other words, he was squeezed. So what happened is he was able to bring out more internal powers. That means he received Bina and Chachma and Kesser and so on and so forth. And therefore the Rebbe says the same thing applies to us. After the terrible life that we're all going through in Gullus, the fact is any Jew in Gullus, it's dark. And especially the Rebbe says in the latest times, when the Rebbe said this, obviously it was after the Yom Kippur War. So through that we receive the tremendous greatest gifts that come specifically through Gullus, the tremendous Gula. So the answer to the question, how can we receive the greatest gifts? We already earned it. We're in Gullus. We're in exile. And by being in exile, we have all earned the right to receive the greatest gifts from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So let's hope we receive them ASAP, and we'll all have the greatest gift of the Gula Hamitis for Hashlema, the true and complete redemption. Thanks so much for joining us for this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah lesson is dedicated to memory of Baruch Ben Arilev, Shlomo Yosef, Rachel Baslipa, Tzina Basara. May their souls be elevated by the Torah we're studying in their memory. For more information, please see our website, Chabad, SWF.org. Have a great and blessed week. Shavua Tov.